Hey everyone, and welcome to another Rainbow Six Siege video here on the channel, and this is a very special one indeed. You see, over the past week I've had access to the new season in Rainbow Six Siege called Operation Steelwave. I've got to say a huge thank you to both Ubisoft and Rainbow Six for giving me that access and letting me share that with you, and this video is going to tell you everything that you need to know about the new season. I'll give you an insight into the brand new operators, Ace and Melusi, the excellently reworked house map, and 3 secret changes that I've noticed whilst playing the build of this game. Now if that sounds good, let's dive on in. First, let's begin with a quick tour of the gorgeous reworked house map. At first, it might appear very new and bewildering, but look closely and you will see the familiar shell of the beloved OG house. Yes, this reworked version still retains the soul of the original house map. In fact, about 2/3 of the map closely mirror the layout of its predecessor. You will notice the once work-in-progress workshop room is now a completed bedroom, complete with a walk-in wardrobe. Oh, how the other half do live. Must have come into some good money to do this renovation. Upon closer inspection, you'll also see small tweaks to the original design throughout. For example, an additional corridor leads from that new pink room along the north wall into the bathroom. Down in the basement level, there's an additional door into the garage, and now only one garage door is breachable, making the defense of this bottom floor site now feel much less like shooting fish in a barrel. That is to say, it's a much more predictable and manageable site to defend. The additional floor space and rooms comes on the south side of the map, and on the ground floor, you've got the new music room and TV room. And the new set of stairs, aptly named Red Stairs, takes you up to the reading room and the playroom. Playroom is an additional room connected to the kids' bedroom, but just to confuse you, kids' bedroom is now called car room. Overall, these have been very welcome additions to the previously claustrophobic house map, and I think it's going to make it more enjoyable to play on. Now, with our overview of the house rework complete, let's take a look at secret change number 1. Whilst playing Operation Steelwave, a buff to Oryx was brought to my attention. One that, as at the time of making this video, was not in the official briefing notes put out by Ubisoft. What's the buff, you wonder? Well, it's a reduction in damage taken when charging through walls. Up until now, Oryx lost 10 health points each and every time he smashed his way through a wall, which unsurprisingly discouraged people from using this ability. Imagine taking down only a handful of walls during the prep phase and then spending the rest of the round worried because you're on half health. Well, moving forwards, this is no longer a problem because the health reduction has been cut in half. Yes, Oryx will now only take 5 points health damage each time he bursts through a wall. That being said, perhaps this ability should come with a health warning anyway. It can't be good running headfirst into walls. I should know. With our first secret change covered, let's move on to Malusi, the new operator available to you on defense. She is our very first South African operator in Rainbow Six Siege, and her loadout options consist of a choice between the superb T5 SMG and the Super 90 shotgun. Only one secondary option though, and that is the RG-15 pistol. Gadget-wise, she has a choice between the impact grenade and deployable shield. Most importantly though, her unique gadget. It's called the Banshee Sonic Defense Gadget, and it is something completely out of the ordinary. She has 3 of them, and they can be deployed on walls and floors to significantly slow down opponents caught in its effective range. It apparently uses sound waves to slow your foes. Now, they might not look like much, but trust me, they're game changers because they leave your enemy completely vulnerable. Moreover, it's also audible when an enemy is caught in them, providing you with valuable intel. I found they also synergize exceedingly well with other defensive operators. Imagine being caught in the area of effect of one of these Banshees, unable to move very fast at all, and then suddenly a smoke canister goes off or a Goyo shield is ignited. It can be petrifying once you get caught in the radius of one of these because you feel so vulnerable. If you cannot move back out of its radius, or are committed to moving through it, then destroying the gadget is the only way to stop it, and this cannot be done by shooting it. In this sense, they're similar to the bulletproof cameras. You need to get close enough to melee the device, or have the utility, such as an ash breaching round or grenade, to take them out. So yes, Malusi will certainly be a real handful on the defensive team. With that said, let's head on over and take a look at secret change number 2. Nomad and Qaid now have the option to equip new secondary sidearms. You'll recall that these two operators both have access to the powerful 44 scoped Magnum, a real skull-splitting sidearm in Rainbow Six Siege, and the only one to come with such a powerful scope. It's a beautiful and unique sidearm in Rainbow Six Siege, but it was always the only option they had, and not everyone has been so keen on having a scoped secondary. Well, it seems the folks at Ubisoft have been listening because they've gone ahead and given each operator a further secondary option. Nomad will additionally have access to the PRB-92, which you'll recognise from the Brazilian operators Capitão and Caveira. Qaid will not have access to that PRB-92, instead he gains access to the 357 Magnum revolver as his secondary. Yep, the very same available to Rook and co. If the 44 Magnum is a skull splitter, then the 357 is a skull obliterator, an absolute monster of a secondary. Sure, it doesn't come with a scope like the 44, but this beast makes those that wield it look like a real badass. With secret change number 2 out of the way, let's take a look at your new Norwegian attacker known as Ace. Ace is a new hard breacher with similarities to both Thermite and Hibana. Let's take a look at his loadout. His primary weapons are a choice between the hard-hitting AK-12 assault rifle and the M1014 shotgun. The AK-12, formerly only available to Fuse, is one of the hardest hitting and highest DPS weapons in all of Rainbow Six Siege, so it makes Ace an extremely formidable foe to come up against in a firefight. Also, I have some very good news for you. Ace has access to the standard optical attachments for his AK-12. By that, I mean you can equip the normal ACOG, the normal holographic sight, the reflex sight, and the red dot sight. He doesn't, however, have access to the Russian sights which Fuge can equip onto his version of the AK-12, and it should be noted too, because I know some of you will be wondering, unfortunately Fuse does not have access to the standard optics available to Ace, i.e. there is no change to Fuse as a result of Ace getting the AK-12. Finally, just to round off the loadout, the secondary weapon available to Ace is the P9, and gadget choices are the breaching charge and smoke grenade. Right, we've covered off the loadout, but let's take a look at Ace's special gadget. And much like Malusi, I can see this being very powerful indeed, and a great alternative to Thermite and Hibana. It is called the Selma Aqua Breacher, and Ace has 3 of these in total. It's thrown onto walls in much the same way as Gridlock might throw out her traps, and it's hard breach too, so yes, it can burn right through soft walls and reinforced walls. Reinforced hatches will require 2 aqua breachers to open though. As you can see, when it lands on the wall, it begins to cut its way through. It takes about 4 seconds for the first breachable hole to be created, and then there are 3 possible stages as it works its way down, with each breach creating a mirror window shaped hole. Something for you to be wary of is that the device can be bandit tricked with the correct timing, and keep in mind your initial placement when throwing the device against a wall if you want to ensure you can walk through the hole created. Overall, Ace is an excellent addition to the hard breaching team in Rainbow Six Siege and offers an interesting new mechanic to the game. On to secret change number 3, and this change is a nerf to the power of Echo's yokai drone. The drunken effect experienced after you've been caught by an Echo drone seems to have been drastically reduced in the Operation Steelwave patch, as you can see from the before and after gameplay on screen. Your point of view twists and turns much less under the effect of the drone, even when sprinting around. I believe this change may have been introduced due to the heavy effect Malusi has on the movement of attackers. It might be a little too much to be under the influence of both at the same time. Well, that about wraps up this video, going over some of the changes coming into Rainbow Six Siege in the new season, Operation Steelwave. Let me know your thoughts on the changes in the comments section down below, and be sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and a dislike if you didn't. If you want to see more Rainbow Six Siege videos on the channel, covering all the latest changes in the game, make sure you subscribe if you're not already doing so. And a huge shout out to Prodigio Pete, he's an absolute legend, does loads of great Rainbow Six community stuff as well, loads of videos. I'll leave him linked down in the description of this video, so if you don't already do so, subscribe to him right now as well. Until the next time, believe in your dreams, and I'll speak to you again very soon in the next one.